I didn't expect the door to feel so heavy when I pushed it open. I had only come to drop off their school documents, nothing emotional, nothing dramatic, nothing that should have shifted the ground under my feet. A simple errand. But the moment the door opened, both my children stepped back as if I were something they had been warned about, something dangerous or unwelcome. "Get out," my son said first, his voice steady in a way number 12-year-old should ever sound when speaking to their mother. My daughter's chin lifted a second later. "You're not our mother. You're just a stranger." That word landed harder than the divorce did. Stranger. It clung to me, sharp and cold. Behind them, she stood, my ex-husband's new wife, her hand resting on my daughter's shoulder like she had earned it, like she belonged there, like she'd slipped seamlessly into a role I spent years building with scraped knuckles and sleepless nights. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. Her presence was loud enough. I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I didn't beg or attempt to prove myself to children who had been fed someone else's lines. I simply looked at them, long enough to see the rehearsed rejection in their eyes, the coaching threaded through their posture. Something inside me clicked into place, a calmness that wasn't soft but sharp, cold, and exact. So I smiled. "Is that so?" I whispered. And by the time their father appeared behind them, confused, irritated, half prepared to pretend he didn't know why there was tension at the door, every one of our joint accounts had already been frozen. Cards disabled. Access wiped. The financial safety nets he relied on more than he admitted were already gone. "I actually had good news for you," I said lightly. "But I don't give money to strangers." His face strained. And that was only the opening act. We weren't perfect, but we were steady. Predictable in that quiet way marriages become when two people decide to build something rather than chase fireworks. He used to say stability was his peace. I believed him until the cracks began to form, not loud or dramatic, but subtle. A shift in his routine. Gym sessions that lasted hours beyond what made sense. Work calls that required stepping outside. A new cologne, he claimed, was a free sample. The distance grew slowly, but betrayal is rarely a surprise. It's a confirmation. I knew long before I had proof. But I didn't confront him. I didn't demand explanations. I didn't fight for a man who didn't want to be kept. The moment I felt the betrayal creeping in, I didn't crumble. I observed. And he made it so easy. Proof came in a photograph. My daughter smiling. My son holding her hand, and the other woman behind them, standing in the frame like she had always belonged there. He called it a fun day out. He said she was being friendly. He said the kids needed a feminine presence. Funny. I was still their mother then. The kids changed after that. Their voices grew cooler, their words sharper, too rehearsed, too polished, too borrowed to be their own. She wasn't just inserting herself. She was rewriting me, line by line, memory by memory. And he was standing there, letting it happen. Pain is loud. Strategy is silent. So I chose silence. I met with my lawyer quietly, collected proof quietly, made a plan quietly. He thought I was weak. He thought I was slow. He thought he was getting away with everything because I wasn't reacting. But betrayal doesn't just reveal what someone did. It reveals who they are. He exposed everything without noticing: his spending habits, the accounts he depended on that were tied to my name, the credit he used casually, the financial laziness he hid behind charm, the certainty that I would never push back. He forgot who built the stability he bragged about. He forgot who held the passwords, who paid the mortgage, who managed the life he thought was effortless. He forgot who he married. I waited until he was comfortable. Until she was fully installed in my children's lives. Until he boasted that I had moved on, that I was overreacting, that I was harmless. Then I pulled the first thread. Accounts frozen. Joint business and savings locked. Mortgage reassigned entirely to him. My lawyer handled the filings so cleanly he didn't even know what was happening until it was done. Child support recalculated with numbers that finally reflected his real obligations. His access revoked from schools, doctors, activities. He had to rebuild everything from the ground up. And then came the final blow, the custody evaluation. The one he never expected because he believed alienation leaves no fingerprints. But it does. I had the recordings, the messages, the shifts in behavior. I didn't raise my voice. I raised my evidence. He stepped closer to me that day, fury tightening his jaw. "What did you do?" "I removed myself," I said calmly. Strangers don't stay in people's lives. His new wife stiffened. He swallowed hard. And for the first time since this mess began, the kids looked uncertain, caught between what they'd been told and what they suddenly felt. "You can't just cut everything off," he snapped. "You already did," I replied. "I just made it official." That's when my daughter whispered, "Mom's soft." Unsure. Real. And the new wife actually flinched, like the word was a blow. My lawyer stepped beside me, files in hand. "Actually," she said, "she can. And she has." I watched the moment his world cracked. It wasn't the money or the mortgage or the accounts. It was the realization that he hadn't just lost control, he'd lost me. The custody evaluator sided with me. The kids told the truth once they were finally away from her influence. His financial burdens collapsed on him quicker than I expected. And the new wife didn't stay. She wasn't built for consequences, only for comfort. He ended up alone in the same house he once bragged about, drowning in debt, surrounded by the echo of everything he destroyed. And he finally understood that I never needed to take her place. I only needed him to see exactly who took mine. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm free. Revenge isn't anger. Revenge is clarity. And the clearest truth I ever learned is this: some people don't deserve a reaction. They deserve results.